Alex Meruelo, the auction just 2 weeks and 1 day away. Yes, it's PHNX land development time on the show. Craig, last night we saw a tweet from Richard Rodier about bidders at the land auction, and he said, sources, the June 27th land auction in Phoenix already has 4 bidders registered, including Meruelo. That means there will be at least 3 bidders against Meruelo and maybe more, as there is still plenty of time for others to register. Should be interesting. Now, of course, we won't know for sure until the day of the auction, Craig, but Richard Rodier is a well-connected individual.
Yes, he is. I saw some pushback, like as if he didn't know what he was talking about. Richard Rodier knows what he's talking about. You can trust that information. Will those people show up? Will they put down the deposit? I don't know. We'll know all of that day up, but it sounds like Alex Meruelo is going to have some competition for this piece of land. And we have suggested this on the show, that there was this narrative out there that people didn't want to be responsible for driving the Coyotes out of town. But now that the Coyotes are already gone, this is a really valuable piece of land, and there are other groups that would be interested in it. So as we've told everyone, we're going to be there on the ground to cover it. I still wonder about the tax abatements that we've talked about that the city of Phoenix does not seem willing to grant. I don't see how Alex Meruelo does this without that support. And as we mentioned, I think on the last show, there's also a zoning issue. Does this thing have to go before the city council and the mayor? Do they have to make the determination? Does it go one step farther than that? As many people are suggesting to me it might, does it go to referendum? If it goes to referendum, we all know what that means for Alex Meruelo. It's not going to pass referendum. So we'll see how this all plays out. I really can't figure out how he does this without those tax abatements. But again, he's got to win the auction. That's the only time you can start talk about rezoning with the city of Phoenix. They're not going to entertain those conversations till there's an actual landowner. We'll have much more on this. I'm planning a land auction primer. Those are words I never thought I would utter as a sports journalist. A land auction primer. But yes, I will have that for you the week of the land auction. I am so looking forward to putting that together.
Oh my goodness. And of course, as you mentioned, we'll do a show after the auction. We'll also preview the auction in the show the week before. So lots of PHNX land development scheduled for the next 2 weeks. And by the way, just to, reiterate about the different narratives out there, I think there's this idea that there's only 2 ways this can go. Either he loses or he wins and gets it done. But don't forget about the third option. He wins and then faces all of the barriers that you just mentioned, Craig. And this thing either falls apart or gets drawn out. This isn't just one of 2 ways, but it all starts June 27th. We'll know one way or another, at least the next step in this process. So I can't believe it's already in 2 weeks.